How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? How is everyone doing? Welcome to, I'm just trying to get some things done here because I'm a little bit delayed. Trying to get my ATRs filled out in my watch list over here. In the meantime, let me say hello to you, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. How was your day today? Thursday? No, Wednesday. We still have Thursday, that's tomorrow, and we have quite a bit of research to do on IPO side for tomorrow. We have to prepare for the monster move Meta did today, taking out the all-time high, potential more upside on the market with the strength that we're seeing in the market. Maybe put in the bearish sentiment away on the market and look for more upsides. We also have gold, silver doing its own fun stuff for us to keep an eye on. So lots of movements across the board on the market today. It was very slow, but we did grind down, right? A lot of stocks were actually trading in the red. If you're watching ADD or Tick, stocks were trading in the red, even though the market was trying to take out the highs and keep on going higher. So the market was, kind of going down, but later on we just managed to do nothing, maybe end slightly positive on the Qs if I remember correctly. Let me just quickly go check how the Qs ended today. Very slightly positive. S&P 500 still red on the day, which was a lot weaker than the Qs. So overall, very nothing burger meh of a market itself, but you had stocks that moved around never without a problem. You had Meta moving when Meta event started. You had Nvidia moving when Nvidia pretty much continuing off of yesterday's rally, going up a little bit higher today, basically off the news catalyst that Jensen Huang, the CEO, is done selling his shares on Nvidia. So you had movers. You even had Palantir selling right back into yesterday's low on any pops. You could have taken advantage of that a couple times. Even Apple gave you a trade off of a level that we were talking about. The main stock that I did not trade today, which was probably the only real trade I should have traded, was AVGO off that 177. AVGO rejected perfectly off that 177 $10 area. Sorry, 10-cent area. So that's a pretty upsetting trade to not have. Didn't have an alert go off, or maybe it did and I just chose to ignore it. I don't know what happened at that moment, but that was a big regretful of a trade to not have. But at the end of the day, still a positive day for me. We can show you how I traded on the day. We'll go through the stocks that I traded on the day. How did I trade them? How could I have done it better? And then we'll go through my watch list. My watch list for tomorrow, very short. Very short, because most of the focus is basically on one sector. You had Micron reporting earnings after hours, making a monster run up to the north side and possibly adding some fuel to the semiconductor sector, which has already been the hottest sector of this week pretty much, right? Market has been pretty much been riding on the coattails on the back end of on the back end, pause, no diddy, on the Nvidia's back pretty much. Nvidia just carrying the whole market in his backpack and just, you know, charging up the mountain without a problem. So shout out to Nvidia, shout out to the semiconductor sector for that, and AVGO running up to a previous resistance and rejecting from the previous resistance to the penny. Why did I not think about taking that trade? I don't know. But hey, green day for me. Could have had a way bigger day, but if I had just traded my stocks way better. But green day is a green day, right? We're happy with that. Let's see who's in the chat today. We got Dieter. What's up, Dieter? Dieter's in the house. Damn, I just looked at what was the Meta glasses. Oh yeah, you're talking about the Meta event that they had today. It was called Meta Connect 2024. I think that's what they call it, Meta Connect. They were talking about their new glasses that are basically you know, augmented reality, virtual reality glasses. So instead of you having a full-on headset to do everything that you can do with the Quest, or even what's the Vision Pro? That's the one, the Vision Pro from Apple. Everything that you can do from a Vision Pro from an Apple, or throwing on any of the Quest, the headsets from Meta, you can now basically start being able to do that on a glasses, and just have a normal pair of glasses on, and you can start controlling shit in the air, watch a movie while you're sitting in the bus or whatever, right? Amazing technology coming into much smaller form factor. But right now those glasses look dorky. They're so dorky. They look like blind people glasses. They look so big and so bulky. I mean, it makes sense, right? There's electronics and technology being put into those glasses, so it makes sense. But hey, eventually that's gonna get smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where they're able to put it in these glasses. That's gonna be insane. That's gonna be insane. I want to continue with the show here, but let's just actually say hello to the rest of the viewers. Come on, Brad, don't forget to do that. We got TH in the house. What's up, TH? TH saying those glasses will fail. Why are the lights off in the back? I almost forgot about that. See, I knew I forgot something about the stream today. Alexa, turn on Koi Pond. Alexa, lights on. Much better. Those glasses will fail, says TH. I mean, look, if they are able to put that technology in a form of glasses that are much smaller, I don't think it will fail, but it will take time to get there. You know, the first computer took the size of this whole room. The first computer took the size of this whole room, and that was just the wires part. And then you would have another room where the computer would actually be run on, and the keyboard was the size of my table. That was the original keyboard, right? But now you have basically a computer in your palm. Every single phone is basically a computer at this point. So eventually technology will get better, parts will get smaller, parts will get rollable, you know, and they'll just manage to do it. I don't doubt it. All it takes is research and development. Let's see how much money they put behind this project, because the last time Meta put money behind a project like the augmented reality, the metaverse, and so on, they didn't really make profit out of that. Metaverse was basically running red. They were paying for it out of their pockets, and they were struggling for that whole part. So much so that the company actually crashed to the downside. Eventually they said, okay, we're pushing metaverse to the side, we're going to focus on AI. And then they built out an AI to the point where AI helped them get more advertisements to the right eyes at the right time, and that helped them bring in more revenue. So that helped out on that side. So AI was like the hit for them. But going back to this augmented reality, and this is your now flagship product that you're aiming for, I guess it makes sense. Like, these guys need a flagship product to really take off to the point where it will rival a cell phone, right? And that's metaverses, or not metaverse, but that's Meta. That's Meta's way to dethrone Apple, dethrone Google, dethrone Microsoft, and kind of step up there. Google tried this already with their Google Lens way back in the day. That was a failed project. They had to scrap that project. I remember Google Lens back in the day. I wanted one, never got to try one, but you know, looked pretty cool. The concept was cool, but eventually that's what we're getting down to. We're gonna get down to that point where everyone's gonna rock these glasses. You're not longer gonna have to check your phone. Maybe it doesn't really replace your phone, because you still need your phone's data connection and so on. So you'll just have your phone in your pocket or in your backpack, and you're just wearing these glasses that you're just popping up screens wherever you're going, at work, on your subway, on the way home. If you're traveling to like a really far destination, like maybe India, that takes ridiculously long, you're just on the airplane with these glasses on, and you're just watching a movie on the whole screen of the airplane, instead of using their little dinky small screen in front of you that they offer it to you. So the opportunities that open up with those glasses just for entertainment side are immense. Then you have the gaming side and everything else. I think it will for sure take off. My excitement for AR VR is always enthusiastic, but I've seen how it has failed every single time. Apple had to almost pull out from the Apple Vision Pro, if I remember correctly, or are they still focusing on that? Apple will win the eyeglasses war. Well, if it's eyeglasses war, then Meta is winning, and they don't really have a competitor. They're partnered with Ray-Ban. They actually have a much smaller form factor. Let's actually head over to the screen over here. If we're talking about just glasses, eyewear, then Meta already has Ray-Ban Snapchat glasses that they offer. I think they have a even smaller form factor that is not even Snapchat enabled anymore. I think, there you go. These look almost exactly as a normal Ray-Ban. Not much difference. Then you have the camera over there that can basically connect to Meta platforms. You can post a picture to Instagram, your stories, or whatever your heart desires to. But now with the AI capabilities, this even has music. This even plays music for you. These are your headphones. These are your go-to AI companion, and it records camera for you. All that crazy stuff. So if you're talking about eyewear battle, Ray-Ban and Meta are really ahead of the game over here. But if you're talking about a headset battle, then that's a whole different conversation. I think neither Meta nor I should not really say, HTC has pretty good headsets. There are other third-party companies out there for VR capabilities that have better headsets than Quest. But when it comes to augmented reality, now that's a whole different question. It comes down to who has the better sensors, who has the better processing capabilities inside the little headset itself, because you can't be having a stupid wire hanging with it every single time, right? If I want to travel with it, I don't want to have to carry the headset and the stupid wire that I have to with the Apple Vision. So eventually that wire's got to go. You have to make it smaller. You have to make it not so heavy on your neck. It's a big war that these companies have to fight. Whereas Meta Orion, which is the newest product that they came out with, Meta Orion looks very clunky and incredibly huge. The frame is not even actual glass. It's like made out of a completely different material. I can't remember what the material is called. They were talking about it in the conference. I can't remember what material it is, but that is the crazy part. Did they announce a Fitbit type of watch also? What's that and what's that? I stopped paying focus after this whole glasses event. But basically, you're doing everything that you could do with the headset, but without the headset in a much smaller form factor. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. Right? Let's actually see if there's a video about it. Nice little small short video. I'm gonna get demonetized instantly just for watching these clips. Well, we know what we're gonna do. We're gonna have to wait till MKBHD drops a video. Speaking of MKBHD, he actually dropped a video on the iPhone 16. And he had a lot of complaints about the iPhone 16. He said basically, why would they even sell this phone? If you have the 15, there's no point to go to 16 unless you want to get the 16 and have the hope that they eventually give you the capabilities that they said they'll give you, which they apparently haven't. Doesn't have any of the AI capabilities that it said, so completely failing on every single aspect over there. And when a big YouTuber like MKBHD goes and drops a video saying don't buy the iPhone 16 if you have the 15, if you have like the 13, 12, 11 and you want to upgrade, then yeah, go for it and hope that eventually they'll unlock all the features. But if you're just at the 15, there's no point to going to the 16. That's a slap in the face for Apple, man. Slap in the face for Apple. Here is the earnings board. Tomorrow we got Costco after hours, along with my heart, my love, the Canadian company BlackBerry, although rest in peace to the company. We also have JBL, which is a name that I cannot ignore. JBL is one of the monster movers during earnings days, so I'm putting that one on the watch list really quick, making sure that I don't forget about that one. But tonight we got to take a look at Micron's earnings report, so I'm just gonna quickly load up Micron over here. Sorry, I'm gonna load up Benzinga on the screen to my left. That way we can take, am I not logged in? Log in then please. That way we can take a look at Micron's earnings reports and then dissect the chart for the possible trade opportunities. While Benzinga's loading, let's actually show you my trades on the day. So my manager called out this trade into $125 on Nvidia. So me and everybody else on the floor started getting short into that 125. Didn't really take out too much size on the way down over here, and I bag held on the way back. On the back and forth, you know, me and my friend who did the same thing, we bag held most of our size all the way back to our stop. Well, our stop never triggered, so we were going to plan to hold most of our size back to VWAP. That was the trade that we were looking for, but our manager was getting a little upset at us for not taking out enough size on the original flush here, that he made us think that we needed to get out over here. Eventually, after some conversations on the trade review, we figured that that's not what he wanted. So we made a mistake over here, me and my other co-worker that traded the stock together today. Made a couple mistakes by taking out some shares over here. If I just had stuck to my game plan, you know, big move to the downside by risking very little. My average price was about 124.80. The stock never broke 125, and then you got a beautiful move down to $123. You're risking maybe 30 cents and you're getting $2-3 to the downside. What more do you really want from a trade at that point, right? So the risk to reward is crazy on trade opportunities. opportunities like this. I just didn't trade it at the best of my ability. So next time I'll get you, baby girl. But hey, look at this monster trade to the downside today on Nvidia, which was actually one of the strongest stocks, 2.18% to the upside. And this picture was taken around 2:30. I think that's 2:30 or 3:30. I can't remember. But this picture was taken around 2:30. No, that's 1:30. No, that's 2:30. Yeah, so around 2:30, and around 2:30, Nvidia was up 2.18%. Here's a zoom in of my shorts. Those were my fills. Short entries, exit cover, exit cover, exit cover, final exit cover once we kind of peak back to the upside, and I thought the stock was basically done for me. Nvidia, decent trade, I'll take it. Could have done much better with that. Wells Fargo, we were talking about the bank sector and how to potentially look for weakness in the banking sector. Today, I saw the XLF was under 45 and sticky under 45. By sticky, I mean it's finding selling under 45. It's not actually holding above 45. And yesterday's low was actually 44.90. So at this point, we're getting under yesterday's low and we're staying under yesterday's low. Sellers are coming in and they're pushing the sector below yesterday's low point. At that point, I figure, you know, look for a short somewhere in the stocks that actually were the weakest companies on the downside, which is Wells Fargo, Citigroup. Both of them did look weaker. Both of them did look weak, but one looked much weaker and a much cleaner setup at the time that I pulled it up. The stock had already flushed on the opening drive. This is actually the open right here, somewhere in this area. We flush off the open, pull back, reject off the VWAP, kind of double bottom over here, and then pull back and then consolidate very slightly. This is actually the 1-minute chart. I want to show it to you on the 5-minute chart because that's a much cleaner setup. Boom. So off the open, we open all the way up here. We get below yesterday's VWAP. We sell off below yesterday's low, make the bottom, then we pull back into yesterday's low. Reject perfectly, double bottom into a higher low, but now we get above yesterday's low, but we don't get too much above yesterday's low. That means there's still an active seller right around 53.90 to 54. I'm gonna guess to 54, right? But right around 53.90, there's an active seller just taking shares to the short side or just selling whatever they had long. Either or, we don't know what type of action they're playing, but we know that there is active selling going on. Now that they pulled their orders a little bit, but they eventually started getting short again, and the stock gets once again below yesterday's low, I figure, hold a minute, there's a clear active seller here. Even though not much volume is being played out, why would somebody go short right after the stock breaks out unless they really wanted to go short? So as soon as we get below this low, I get short and I keep on adding for a move to the downside. Here's my trade, boom, and exit, last few shares out. So that's a nice little scalp on Wells Fargo. I was looking for a move into low a day and maybe even a bigger move to the downside past that, but the market wasn't that weak today. SPY did look weak a little bit, but yeah, whatever. We'll take our scalp and we'll run away from it. Meta took some shares, stopped out of some shares, but I still held some shares, eventually flat on the trade for me. Nice little long scalp on this stock, but here was the main move. Boy, oh boy, that was the main move. Instead of watching the event maybe actually make the trade, no, I was watching the event pretty hard. The event was interesting. The event was for sure interesting, so can't blame me for that one. Maybe you can blame me for that one. Okay, nice little scalp on Meta today. Couple shares I lost, couple shares I win. Overall flat trade. Didn't really do too much on that one. Zim, if you guys remember what I said about Zim, $24 might be a barrier, might be a long opportunity if we manage to get above it and hold above it. The stock never manages to get above 23 80 or 23.90 today. We struggle around 23.90, actually double top at 23.90, and then we get below. So here's where I start getting short. My mistake is not taking out any profits on the down move because I was expecting much bigger move to the downside, and then I just keep taking more shares, and then I just close my trade for flat. I lose nothing on this trade. It sucks because I could have made a decent chunk of money on the down move over here. I lose nothing on this trade because my average price is where I actually punch out for most of my size, and you know, I basically held the stock all day for no reason. I did nothing with it. Learn to take some profits, Prad. Learn to take some profits, you greedy fuck. I was so greedy. Okay, Apple making the nice little push to the upside over here today off the open, but still very weak. Here was exactly around yesterday's low and also that 226 area that I was talking about. We had a double reject around that 226, so I got short. At that time, the QQQ wasn't really that weak, but the SPYs looked weak. The overall market was flushing, not flushing, but the ADR on the overall market was printing lower. So I was expecting to get lucky for a big flush down where I can add on this position. That never played out that way. I took the stop, but if you actually go to Apple on the 5-minute chart here, you can notice where the stock rejected from, perfectly from yesterday's VWAP, also from where we closed yesterday. So yesterday we closed 227.37. And here the yellow line is where yesterday's VWAP is. So if you just draw a flat line out from yesterday's VWAP, the stock opens under yesterday's close and under yesterday's low. We go into yesterday's VWAP, yesterday's close, reject perfectly from that area, and then pull right back. So that was a monster short opportunity had you been patient enough to take that trade. But for me, I made my decision to make the read in this area, and then when that area came to play, I didn't really care about it. Later on, I decided to make the read, and I did, but this shake happened. So the stock actually started working for me. It looked great. It looked like I was gonna make money. And then the shake happens where the whole market looked like it was gonna break down. SPY breaks down, QQQ breaks down, Apple breaks down, but Apple, QQQ, and SPY all bounce right back. So I go, okay, this is just a short trap. They're just going to burn all the stops over here and now run this market to the upside. I'm out of here. So I jumped out of that trade. Had I just kept to my stop, which was actually not taking too much of a damage because my fill was very close to the stop. I'm not risking too much on where I get filled on the trade. So had I just held it to the stop, I would have made 3x, 4x on that position. So quite a bit of mistakes were made today on the market. Hey, green day nevertheless, right? Green day at the end of the day, and that's the only thing that matters. Was money made or not? And the answer is yes. The money. Oh shit, we got Victor in the house. What's up, Victor? How you doing, sir? Hopefully you had a great day. Enjoyed your morning stream today. Thank you as always for the great content. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out Victor. Amazing content every single day. Dieter saying at home or at work, I don't care. He's going to vary either way. Zucky stole all the technology that made him rich. Ooh, what kind of conspiracy theory we got from coming from TH Jones over here? TH Jones is like our Alex Jones. He's got conspiracy theories for us. Maybe I'm the Alex Jones of this stream. Let's be honest, because I'm always into conspiracy theories. Currently, Raw Dog is popular on long flights. I didn't expect you to know that. I didn't expect you to know that. That's hilarious. Yes, raw dogging on the airport is very popular. It's very popular. Warren Buffett dumped shares of BOFA. BOFA these nuts. Got him. Got him. Warren Buffett dumped shares of BOFA, B-O-F-A, which is Bank of America. So that's B-A-C, Bank of America. Bank of America, I guess, didn't really do too much off of that catalyst. We didn't really see too much selling. The market was down the sector was down today. taking out yesterday's lows and did look weak, but most of that weakness just once again comes from Wells Fargo and Citigroup, because JP Morgan, if I remember correctly, Goldman Sachs actually printed lower, but yeah, JP Morgan didn't really print too much low. It recently made a bottom into $200 and then bounced off of that area. If we push back into 200, that could be something to keep an eye on JP Morgan. If interest rates go down, banks make less money, correct? So maybe XLF doesn't deserve to be at all-time highs in that case. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Let's start taking a look at my watch list now. So here is my watch list, starting with stocks such as, oh, come on. Starting with stocks such as obviously Nvidia, AMG, AVGO, Micron. Maybe put Micron at the top over there because that one is high priority. Reported earnings today after hours. Oh, I forgot. I still need to do this. So let me just quickly. What's my dog barking? JBL 2.92, 0.87, 2.03, 1.71, 4.85, 10.10, 14.09, 7.67, 7.85, 6.63. Oh, I was so close to 666. Come on, market. Why couldn't you do this for me? Why? We were so close to just having a 666 ATR on the S&P 500. That would have been the perfect number to see for a recipe for the downside on the market tomorrow. Oh, that would have been so juicy too, man. Imagine that call out. Market has a 666 ATR tonight, and then it sells off tomorrow for a big free fall Thursday. I know it doesn't have the same ring as free fall Friday, but boy, that would be amazing. Okay, boy, that would be amazing. Sadly, we don't get what we wish for. Micron, let's talk about it. Micron recently broke out of its resistance around $92. Then it held at $92.50 on a 2-day pullback. Today, actually, we broke out before it even reported earnings. And just as it reports earnings, boom, Micron rips up to the $100 marker, which a lot of companies actually downgraded the stock to. So let's go take a look at the earnings report with our friends over at Benzinga. Check the link out in the description below and use my affiliate sponsor link to have awesome software such as Benzinga. You can use Benzinga not only for news, but they have built-in scanners such as this scanner over here, the day trading scanner or what's moving scanner. You can obviously adjust the scanner based on your own needs, or just have it the setup the way they have it built already, and you can see exactly what stocks are moving, analyst trends. Each layout is completely different. You can also modify the layout based on your own needs. We usually use Benzinga to take a look at their earnings report. Chat disconnected. What happened? Did my stream disconnect, chat? Stream disconnect, or just my chat window disconnected? Hopefully the stream doesn't disconnect. But we usually use Benzinga to take a look at earnings reports. So here's Micron. Micron beat analyst estimates on top and bottom line. BOA is now Bank of USA China debt. Ooh, okay. Come on, this chat window's not gonna work anymore, is it? Die on me. BOA seeing completely different chats. This is freaking me out. There we go. Now I see John Vaughn's chat. BOA is now Bank of USA China debt. Is that a ticker? Not a ticker, right? All right, continue down with Micron's earnings report. So Micron beat analyst estimates on top and bottom lines, reporting revenue of 775 billion versus 7.63 billion with a B in a quarter, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And earnings of 1.18 per share versus 1.13 per share. Micron said its 93% revenue growth in its quarter was driven by its robust AI demand, which was the main driver of chip stock appreciation in the recent years. That's crazy. 93%. Okay. The memory chip giant also I'm I'm only saying crazy because their most recent growth sucked and it was horrible. Unless they're fluffing the numbers here. I mean, Micron really turned the books around? Like, is that what's really going on? I mean, look at this, right? They were not really doing too hot. Let's go to quarterly. So where's quarterly? Here we go. Yes, they were not doing that bad. So why are we getting downgraded out the wazoo on this stock? Downgraded out the wazoo. What's stocks forward PE of 7? And they just started making money. Wait, is this even the right company? Yeah, they just started making money, or they make $1. So how come they don't have a PE at all? That's strange. That's strange, right? Like if their EPS is 1.18, that means they do make money, but their PE is non-existent. Their forward PE is 7.63. I mean, that's fairly cheap. That looks great. I mean, Micron looks like it could very much not that these growths can be sustained. You know, these growths will eventually diminish. Right now you have like 5,000 AI companies. Eventually those AI companies will die out, and when they die out, their stuff will be sold off to other companies who want to buy them out for the dollar or pennies on the dollar on the open market. So eventually the demand will die down. You just have to be ready for that. But right now they're showing you 93% growth. That's great. The memory chip giant also guided significantly improved profitability for its fiscal 2025. Appears to be sparking the surge in shares. Micron shares were up 13.2% at the time of the report to 108 okay at the time of the writing. So it looks like we might have gone to a high of 108, 109 at the time of the report. Why it matters: Micron focuses on making memory chips. Other big players in the semiconductor memory market are Western Digital, LAM, are seeing the biggest gains after the bell, with both up 4% after hours, trading at the for. However, I don't think WDC, Western Digital, should do too much on the sympathy side. This one is more on the storage, even though it is chips and memory and so on. This one's more on the storage side. I can't really see this one being that big of a sympathy trade, but the rest of them, as they mentioned over here, you got Marvell, you got Nvidia, AMD, ARM, TSM, which are all on the watch just to keep a lookout for. So let's actually go to Micron. However, WDC did make a nice little pop. So let's quickly go to Micron here. Go to the 5-minute chart, throw in the earnings anchored VWAP. Oh, we already did. Good thing. And it looks like we went up to basically almost $110, which is last month's high. Last month's high, exactly $111. So that's a pretty big move to the upside. We gotta remember that this stock most recently, 2-3 days ago, had a ton of downgrade. So this is a big turnaround, and anyone who might have gotten short off of those downgrades, not that I think people go short off of downgrades and upgrades and so on, it's more so as an analyst calling out what they think about the position. So this one could be catching a lot of people off guard at the moment. Big move to the upside. I don't think Micron has a big short flow anyways, but just catching some people off guard. Will be interesting to see how the stock reacts on the dips. In my opinion, you're basically playing under over at this point, but you have so many under overs that you can create out of nowhere. You can create this 108 under over, you can play the 111 under over. You're looking at the earnings anchored VWAP, which is 106. I'll kind of draw down to 105. You can play that 105 106 under over, and then at that point you're looking at the $100 to see if the $100 has any support if we pull back. So there's so many levels over here that you can potentially look for decisions to be made, and because of that I expect it to be very, very choppy. The only decision I will really like to make to see if the stock can give us an opportunity would be around this $111, but you know, we can't always get what we want. It would be awesome to be able to play around the 111. If we get a fake break of 111, maybe we go to 112, maybe we go to 113, but then on the pullback we're not able to hold above 111. That's gonna be a short opportunity. But if we get above 111 and we start you know, holding above 111, maybe 111.50, 111.70, and we start looking to run back up, that might be to look for a long over there on this position, because the earnings report looks to be a big time beat on the earnings report, right? So monster growth on revenue per year to year. I think that was year to year 93%. So monster growth on that side. The earnings report right before this one actually broke the stock pretty hard to the downside. So here's the stock. The last time it was in the 140 areas, and that earnings report, even though which was green, broke the stock hard to the downside. I mean, EPS, they pretty much doubled their EPS, but they brought in about the same amount of revenue. That EPS over there, that EPS is red. That EPS is red. So is Micron just getting to profitability? Holy shit. Oh. I guess just getting to profitability after COVID, because they were profitable before. It looks like in between period for COVID over here, 2023, 2022 or so, they got hurt a little bit. They started bringing in negative, and then slowly started turning to positive. Maybe you need, what, 4 quarters maybe to get positive to actually have a PE showing? I'm not even sure if that's how it works. I thought as soon as you actually start making money, positive earnings per share, you have a PE being displayed. I thought that's how it works. Maybe they're just delayed over there on FinViz. At the end of the day, all we care about is price action, and for me, I would love for that price action read to be right around that 111. But I'm so ready for the stock to not be around 111 at all, and you might have to make up some levels in between. So just be ready to play with the levels in between if that's what the stock makes you do. If that's what the stock makes you do. 108 seems to be something that the after hours over here found some support. So if we actually manage to pull back into 108 and hold above this, come on marker, hold above this 108 area, that could be something to keep an eye on. I'm going to guess the earnings anchored VWAP is actually at 106.50, 106 area. Over there. So I'm gonna guess the earnings anchored VWAP is somewhere around this zone. Actually, I'll do this. Somewhere around here, I believe it should be able to find some support into 106.50 to 106. And if we find support over there, then we got a recipe to go back into today's high, whatever today's high is, whatever today's open is, and then a potential bigger move later on. But if we are not able to hold 108 or 106 area, then I kind of don't want to do anything until we go back into like 100, which is quite a big of a way downside. So you know, I'm only looking for longs, but I would love to get short around 111. I would love to get short around 111. It would be almost stupid to try to, I guess it would not really be that stupid to look short, because a lot of people who went long most recently could potentially look to take profits on this position, because that's a big run up, man. You're getting a monster run up on this position. 23-22%, that's a monster run up for a very most recent tight hold that we just had on Micron, especially after all the downgrades the stock has had. So I'm not trying to look for a short unless it gives me a short on the 111 area. That's going to be my go-to price to get short on this stock. Some sympathy names over here along with Micron obviously will be Nvidia. We have this beautiful range on Nvidia that we can find some support above 125 or either rejection below 125 at the moment. The semiconductors are super fire hot, so I'm just expecting more upside on this position. Did we just grind on that 125 all after hours? That's kind of cool. So even after hours, we weren't able to take out that 125 barrier. Hopefully it sets up exactly like that tomorrow going into the open, and we're able to take that 125 breakout on Nvidia. But if we don't get to play with it, we're just gonna have to keep a close eye on it. For me, it's going to be 125 under over. For AVGO 177.10, my goodness, what a big short that was. But this could very much set up for a breakout to the upside with the most recent catalyst with Micron's earnings report and so on. So if we start getting above 177 and hold above 177 on AVGO, that's a no-brainer long on that position. So you're watching to see how AVGO reacts with the rest of the semiconductor market, how it holds above, if it holds above 177.10, and if it fails to hold above 177.10 area, then you're looking for an easy short right back to the downside, at least to today's low in my opinion. Stock has a $7 ATR. I'm going to be expecting it to give you that whole range to trade with, so just keep an eye out on that one. ESM, more upside, basically semiconductor sectors at the moment. Watching how SMH reacts. I think my go-to for the semiconductor sector at the moment will be MU, Nvidia, and AVGO. So not as much TSM. Maybe a little bit of my eyes will be glued to ARM also, because ARM is back to one of the more significant levels that if it can get above, it can really start shooting to the north side, which is 150 to 151 area. So watching ARM, see how buyers react above 150. Are they able to hold above 150 or not? And you're basically playing a green light, red light, under, over, above 150. If buying is showing above 150, it's a no-brainer long. If selling is showing under 150, it's a no-brainer sell. But if we're just chopping around 150, then I'm just gonna step back a little bit and not really care too much about that position. I want to see buyers being aggressive above 150 if they want to get long. I want to see sellers being aggressive below 150 if they're short. If they want to just chop us around, then you know, you guys can have fun with that one. I'm not interested because there are thousands of stocks on the market. We don't need to be stuck on one that's doing absolutely nothing burger trades. Speaking about nothing burger trades, here's Intel doing opposite of that, exactly that. So Intel ripping 3.2% to the upside. Another big green move on Intel here. Finally reclaiming some of its glory, I guess. We still got a big move for the gap close. Gap closes at $30, $29. Before that, we had the triple bottom that we created on the daily chart here into 24.50, 24.60. So we still got that area as a potential barrier on Intel. Watching to see if we reject around that for a nice little short opportunity. But if we start getting above 24.50, 24.60, then you have that real potential closing gap into $29. So far with the sector hotness, looking for a short around 24.60 on Intel potentially could be the wrong idea because the sector is so hot. But it's Intel. It's Intel. Okay? They're not selling it to Qualcomm. At least we didn't see the news come out that way right yet. So it's Intel. I can't expect Intel to do good things. So I'm expecting this one to fail quite a bit. People in the chat asking, need AI chips to drop to 25 levels with Intel. Think Intel needs to drop to $25? Other stocks need to drop to $25 to Intel's level. That's hilarious. I love it. Prad, what do you think of Nike going up from here? Air Jordan. I think Nike is a pretty bullish case. you know, all these consultants that take over a company, they kind of don't really do anything good with the company. So people who have been stuck with the company from a long time, if you actually take a look at Elliot Hill, who's the new CEO for Nike, if you take a look at his LinkedIn profile, he's been with Nike for a long time, and he started from the ground up. He used to be a salesman, slowly built his way to different positions of management. From there, got into the head office. From there, now he's a president and the CEO of one of the biggest, largest shoe brand in the company or in the world. So, you know, pretty big steps over there from Elliot Hill, if I remember that's what his name is. You know, shout out to his accomplishments. But what does that mean for the stock? I think it means great things, because the previous John Danaher, or if I remember if that was his name, didn't really do too much. It wasn't really innovative what he was doing. He was just kind of recycling the same ideas. People were getting bored. Then you know, Adidas kind of took over the market share a little bit with the help of Kanye West, Yeezus, and so on. And then they had their own fall apart and beef and scuttle. So that kind of probably hurt Adidas too. Did you guys know, interesting thought, Adidas and Puma were actually made by the same brothers who were like arguing and fighting and beefing, and they ended up splitting up a shoe company, and one took one half and the other took the other half, and they now called the companies completely different names instead of what it used to be called. Interesting story there about how Adidas and Puma are basically the same company. So Nike, I think the future is bright, and if the future is bright, maybe the stock price is bright. At the end of the day, the company is not the stock price, and the stock price is not the company. So where the stock price goes is really dependent up to investors. Do they believe in the company's price? Do they believe in a higher valuation? You know, there's so much more that goes into it that I can't really answer. But as for a day trade, I mean, if there's a clean enough of a day trade level, I'll care about it. But the stock barely does any volume. It's not like a day trade position unless it really does so on a extended volume break or some sort. Then I care about it. If it doesn't, then I don't really care too much about this one. Baba pretty much held yesterday's low. Right, we basically bounced off of that yesterday's low. If by any chance we get short below 94, now that's a short opportunity. But if we continue to hold above 94, you got almost a no-brainer easy longs on Baba. At the moment, the sector is ridiculously strong. If we start getting above today's high, which is 96, I think we easily see 98 on this position. And if we go back to 94 and hold 94, I expect the stock to at least pull back to VWAP, or at least into today's high, which is basically 1 ATR on the stock, which is a $2 high. So I expect 94 to hold. Let's see how it continues behaving with the whole Chinese sector strength that's been going on at the moment, and if we can continue to make some money on this sector. So Baba, Pinduo Duo kind of doing something similar over here. Pinduo Duo was ridiculously strong yesterday, so the fact that today we bounced off of yesterday's VWAP and managed to go back into yesterday's high today is pretty bullish. So watching if this one can pour some fuel to its own fire and get that fire raging. We got XPEV going into $11, potential short opportunity at 11 on XPEV, and if XPEV starts holding above 11, that's a no-brainer long to keep an eye out for. Li Auto looking like it wants to pull back, so if we get below 2350 on Li Auto, there's a no-brainer short for me, and if we stay above 2350, there could be a long, but I much rather look for the long on NIO, because this one is a much easier long. I think because of the hold that we have here, the downside has basically been shut off, so I'm not really expecting the stock to get down below 5 and stay below 5 for too long, even if we push to the downside over here. So I'm expecting buyers to kind of have that same mentality and start looking for the long side on on NIO. I almost call this META. On NIO. So watching how this one reacts. If I am looking for a long on the on the Chinese EV names, but mostly looking for the short on the pop into $11 on XPEV and a break below 23.50 on Li Auto. Li Auto. Looking for weakness under 23.50. Looking for weakness under 11. Force strength above. Boom. NIO. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna move on from that one. We already talked about it. FXI, this one should be a pretty good opportunity. It's pretty much the same idea as Baba, as long as we stay above 29.30. Was it 29.27, 29.30? You can continue to look long, but if we get below that area, you can easily look for a gap fill short on the overall sector. So looking to see how FXI plays out over here tomorrow, without a doubt. That's gonna be fun, and that's basically the Chinese segment. Now we have JBL, which is usually a crazy mover on earnings reports. I remember on one of its earnings report, it had a monster day. This was the day where it just kept going and kept going and kept going. It was unstoppable. I didn't know what JBL was until that day. I thought JBL was actually that earbuds maker, JBL yeah, JBL, those earbuds maker, but it's actually a short form, obviously, because tickers or symbols are short form for the company name, and the company name is Jabil. I still don't know what the company does, I'll be honest with you, but all we care about is price action. So tomorrow pre-market they'll report. We'll see if we get some sort of a big reaction off that report in the pre-market. Either we gap up or we gap lower, and then we get to play with the stock on the levels that it forms. No point in making any levels on JBL here today, because you know, pre-market we'll have to revamp all of our strategy, all of our levels completely, so it's not even worth it spending any more time on that. LUNR looking like it wants to stay above $7.33, so looking pretty bullish on LUNR. Do we get that squeeze back into $9, $10 eventually? PLCE at the moment looking like it wants to go back into compression. We still have that range. I believe that range is still $18 and $15, but you can you know, extend that range to $14. You can extend that range to $20. So it's a little bit of a choppy range, but my ideal ranges will be into $15 to $18. The longer we spend between 15 to 18, I think the explosion to the upside will be even crazier. So keeping an eye on this one, but for now it's just on the sidelines. It's a side chick. You're just letting her be over there while you're hanging out with your main girl, which is DJT. Well, maybe not your main girl tomorrow, but DJT is pretty interesting because this one was having a lot of fear, a lot of scare that Donald Trump was going to sell off his shares on the position because the lockup period expired. Anytime a stock has an IPO or a reverse SPAC merger, usually the insiders, such as the shareholders, have a lockup period. You cannot sell up to 90 days, 180 days. There's usually a term of days that the investor cannot sell their position for at all. And that period came to expiry very, very recently, but Donald Trump did come out and say that he wasn't going to sell his shares. I'm never fucking leaving. So he said he wasn't going to sell his shares. So that gave it a little bit of a relief bounce, but then eventually right back to the downside went DJT. Once that the lockup period expiry scare has been over, DJT ended up making a bounce, 10% bounce to the upside. I, however, don't think that this has any substance behind it. This could very easily get flushed back down. Watching it, I'm watching it. I just don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. I think the selling that we are seeing right now is actually so systematic that only somebody who has enough shares to sell can create that systematic sell-off. If you had millions and millions and millions of shares to be sold, wouldn't you make these pops happen by saying I'm not gonna sell, but then you actually use that liquidity to sell into? I'm not buying it. I'm simply not buying it. So my Sherlock Holmes hat is on for that conversation. Let's go to 60-minute time frame here for Apple. So Apple getting below one of the more important levels that I was looking for it to get under, which was that yesterday's low 226, 225.80, which we did, but then, you know, we managed to get right back above it. The more important level seems to be right over here around 224, which was a level that was very important previously, right? You can see here how on the hourly chart where each bar's information is 1 hour's worth of information, and 224 acted as a pretty strong support, pretty strong resistance, and now getting ready to potentially act as a support slash that pivot point one more time. So if we actually pivot back lower here, based on potential weakness in the Apple 16 sales, potential weakness in Apple's future, if we actually get below 224 and look weak below 224, that could open up some short opportunity on the stock. But staying strong above 224, then I'm kind of not really interested for the short side anymore on Apple. But that's a long way down. That's almost what is it, one ATR move? Not really. Half an ATR move back to the downside will be that trigger where I'll be looking for a short. That's crazy. So I'll be watching how the stock reacts throughout the day. How does the market move it? How does the market move itself? So lots of factors over here to keep an eye out for as Apple moves around tomorrow. Here is Tesla. Let's go to Tesla on the daily chart. So Tesla making a little bit of a rally here, starting to pick back up to the north side. Recently had some struggle into this 270 zone, but let's see if we can manage to get through 270. I mean, it is a little overextended, so the higher Tesla goes, the more juicy it looks for a short, I'll be honest with you. So waiting patient. Either you can look for the longs on the dips if the dips are holding, or look for shorts on the rips if the rips are selling. So very basic idea over there. I know it's like, oh Prad, thanks for the crazy trade idea there, but that's basically how you trade some of these stocks. You look for the technical levels, such as yesterday's high, last week's high, last month's high, last year's high, and then you wait and analyze the action around these levels. Are we staying above or below these levels? These are the levels that you can kind of play under over with. And then some of the other technical levels, such as today's VWAP, yesterday's VWAP, earnings VWAP, year-to-date VWAP, recent August low anchored VWAP, or some important VWAPs on that gives you a bigger picture idea that can help you form a thesis on where to keep your eyes open for on the market, right? Don't just randomly start making decisions anywhere in the middle of the ranges and then you get chopped up. Then you come crying to me saying, Prad, you promised me I can make some money if I just make the right reads. I thought I was making the right read. No, you were not. You're an idiot and you need to focus. I'm talking about myself when I say this, chat, not about you. No, you're not. You're an idiot and you need to focus. So yeah, the right reads can't be made in the middle of the ranges. Go to the hourly chart. Have a top-down approach, right? Go start off from, if you need to, damn it, start off on the monthly chart. If you need to. Sometimes I go to the monthly chart, very rarely, but if you need to, go to the monthly chart. Start off on the month, go to the yearly, go to the hourly, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and then if you want, trade on the 1 minute. Crackheads trade on the 1 minute. I am a crackhead who trades on the 1 minute, but I only use 1 minute for execution. I trade off of the 5 minute chart, right? So it really depends on that. Let's see the chat. Chat wants to talk about PayPal. I see. PayPal is going into crypto. That's pretty interesting. PayPal is one of my long-time bags. I sold off my PayPal. PayPal sucks for me. Die, Nike, die, TH. Why are you like this? Why are you like this? TH, why are you like this? Prad, Dieter, me, only non-AI in here. TH is not an AI. TH is not the AI, dude. You're the host with the most. Oh, I hope that's a good thing. Using got me feeling some free. We're gonna celebrate. What is that? What is that? Why does that sound like a song that I know? Why does that sound like a song that I know? All right. Where are we heading to? Tesla. So yeah, go have a top-down approach. Start off on the monthly chart. Right, so go to the all-time chart on trading. You start off on the monthly chart. That looks pretty choppy, boring, meh, right? Choppy, boring, meh. Then you can start off on the weekly. This looks, once again, pretty choppy, boring. Go to the yearly. You have a couple highs on the yearly. You have the 52-week high right at the 270.50 area. Clearly a level of interest. Then you can go to year to date. The year to date high, once again, that 271, 270.50 area. Then start off on the 2-hour chart. If you see any possible resistances, possible supports that you can play off, then go to the hourly chart. Then go to the 30-minute chart, the 15-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, and so on. And then you can start making decisions on the 1-minute chart when it goes to that bigger time frame level. When it goes to that bigger time frame level. Meta, same idea. Looking to see if Meta continues to have this insane strength that it has right now. Does today's VWAP actually show you support? That candle shows you a pretty bearish candle, showing you that we ran up but then we sold right back to the downside. That's a fairly bearish candle, but hey, the action behind Meta is very bullish. So I think the only thing that can take down Meta to the downside is just oh, it is one more time. Okay, I was wondering if it was a Daft Punk song. It was Daft Punk. Okay. The only reason I like Meta to the downside is because the market is putting bearish pressure on Meta. It is a little overextended, but not to the point where I can't think it can't go higher. I think it can easily go higher. We are just now about to get the MACD crossover on the daily chart. If the MACD crosses over on the daily chart, that could potentially trigger a little bit of a downside move. You can see how every time the MACD does trigger crossover, we do have a small sell-off on the stock. So it could potentially give you that sell-off if you're looking for the short side. But you got to be calculated because there's a lot of buyers at the moment who have been pretty adamant on how bullish they are on this position. So if they step back into play, you will get hurt. So you want to be careful. If those buyers are proven wrong, and they will be proven wrong if we're taking out their stops, if we're actually taking out a bigger level to the downside, that opens up some real floodgates, at which point we can then scream shorts at the top of the hills. Love it to the downside. You know me, the bear inside me is going to be very happy. Microsoft, just a name that I have sprinkled in my watch list, not something that I really care about, really. I don't really care about Microsoft tomorrow. It's going to be mainly semiconductor names, Chinese sectors, and then you have the Magnificent Seven names or the overall market, QQQ, S&P 500, and the ETFs, silver ETF, gold ETF, GLD, XLF. So those three ETFs. So banking sector, Magnificent Seven. Oh, I almost forgot about IPOs. I have to do IPO research. Damn it, there's so much stuff to talk about. We're basically done talking about stocks here anyways. So banking sector, gold and silver, semiconductors, China, low float squeezers, and then you have the IPO sector. So let's head over to the last two things we want to take a look at. Tomorrow's economic catalyst. So this one's pretty important. Continuing jobless claims. We got core durable goods coming out, durable good GDP numbers, initial jobless claims. That one's also important. So we got jobless numbers coming out at 8:30 tomorrow. That's gonna possibly move the market either to the upside or to the downside. If these numbers don't come out in the way the market needs it to come out, that could look really bad on the market and send the market to the downside. We also have what seems to be an emergency maybe not an emergency, but looks like we got a bunch of Fed members talking about the market. Hopefully not about the market, but a bunch of Fed members right before the market opens. This is possibly going to be one of the most spiciest volatile open we've had all week. This whole week the market's been kind of sleeper, kind of boring, very low volume off the open, but this could be one of the most volatile opens we've had all week tomorrow. So you want to be careful. 8:30 carries some importance. We have some conversations being dropped from 9 o'clock to 9:30. That's going to be also moving the market. Then intraday we also got people moving the market with their comments. You have the 8-week bill auction, the 4-week bill auction. Not much importance given to those things over there, but anytime that you see Fed member at 1 o'clock, we got 2 Fed members. You also have the Fed balance, but that's after close. That really doesn't matter. But Fed member over here talking at 10:30, another Fed member at 10:30. A lot of stuff going on tomorrow. So be pretty careful for that one, ladies and gentlemen. We might have one of the most exciting, fun market opens in a while. Great show, Prad. It's that time to sleep, so I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, John. Thank you for coming, brother. I enjoy you. My niece calling me? Hold up, chat. Night. My niece was asking the dog to go to his room or go to her room to sleep with her, and it doesn't look like he wants to go to bed right now, so he was running away from them. That was funny. Okay, go. Get out of my room. Out you go, boyo. Thank you. There you go. Now he's gonna go to bed. Where are we? In today's market, can you explain to me what a bear market is? Because I totally forgot. A bear market is when the market crashes 10% or lower from the highs. So we just recently entered a bear market at the turn of August, and then we got out of that very quickly. Very quickly. Awesome show. Keep it up, Brad. May the force be with you, Obi-Wan. What? Why am I Obi-Wan? I'm not Obi-Wan. I'm Yoda. That's right. I'm Yoda. Alright. What IPOs do we got tomorrow? Watch list. Got AV. Got RDN. Oh, on New York. Okay. Any NASDAQ? And then we got BIOA on NASDAQ. Okay. And in my notes, I want to put in what the original price is: 17 to 19, 14 to 16, 19 to 21 million shares. Okay, and now we go here and we now do research. Yay, the fun part. BioAge Labs expected to IPO tomorrow. Deal size 135 million, 7.5 million shares being offered to the open market. IPO price between $17 to $19. BioAge Labs is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company developing therapeutic product candidates for metabolic disease such as obesity. Oh, instantly go long. By targeting the biology of human aging, instantly go long. Our technology platform and differentiated human database enables us to identify promising targets based on insight into molecular change that drive aging. Okay. TraderPrad, our lead product candidate, demonstrated the ability to more than double the weight loss induced by glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor, GLR1. Is this what exactly Ozempic uses? Okay, boom. That is what Ozempic uses. So they're saying more than double weight loss induced by the original peptide agonist. Is that how you say it? Agonist? Agonist? What is that even word? Okay, anyways. While also restoring healthy body composition and improving muscle function in the preclinical obesity models. These preclinical results are supported by our phase 1b clinical trial in older adults on bed rest, where we observed decreased muscle atrophy. That's great. Preservation of muscle quality and improved metabolism in subjects treated with over a 10-day period. That's actually great. That's actually amazing. We plan to assess this drug's potential to drive significant improvements in weight loss when combined with if it's better, why are you combining it? Now I'm confused. We believe these trials will directly support our ultimate therapeutic goal of developing an all-overall combination product for obesity. I guess the fact that it's for obesity, their name is BioAge Labs. They're basically trying to crack the code to stay alive longer, blah, 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 blah. The only point is preclinical trials, right? They're still in trials. They're actually on human trials, but they're trials at the end of the day. The company could easily go into big-time debt and struggle. They're in 11 million in debt at the moment with 159 million dollars in cash. There's not too many numbers that you're gonna get from a company like this because they don't actually create any revenue. They make $0 and all they do is spend money on research and development, on paying patients, on paying participants, on paying nurses, and paying marketing and so on. So they're not going to be making any real money at the moment, but we've all seen what happens when a drug like Ozempic starts taking off, right? Here was the company without Ozempic, and here's the company with Ozempic. So completely vast difference in the stock price. Although the stock price is not the company and the company is not the stock price, sometimes what the company does helps the stock price out. Okay, what the company does sometimes helps the stock price out. So watching this one fly could potentially be something to keep an eye on for BIOA in the future. Anytime diabetic news or a drug for obesity catalyst comes out, because those have been potential trade opportunities recently. So keeping an eye on this one. Tomorrow you're just playing size on the level 2, really. Not much opportunities expected on this one. Let's go take a look at GRDN. Although I won't be surprised if this one has a monster long BIOA, just because of the nature of the company. I won't be surprised if it has a monster long there. Guardian Pharmacy Services is a leading high differentiated pharmacy service company that provides an extensive suite of technology-enabled services designed to help residents of long-term healthcare facilities adhere to their appropriate drug regime, which in turn helps reduce the cost and care of the improve clinical outcomes. We emphasize high-touch individual clinical drug dispensing and administration that are tailored to serve the needs of residents and historically lower acute acuity. Okay, behavioral, blah 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 blah. More than 2/3 of our, how many employees? 2,900 employees. That's actually not bad. Annual revenue for each of the past year has been generated from our, so these guys actually make money. They have 43 pharmacies, served approximately 156,000 residents and approximately 5,800 long-term care facilities. So that's actually pretty cool. Okay, let's go take a look at the statistics then. Looks like you guys actually make money. Okay, they have to make money, but they're not growing big time. What's the numbers over here looking like? So PE ratio non-existent, so not actually making money. Gross margin 20%, operating profit margin operating and profit margins. So operating margins is 6.5%, profit margins is 4.7%. So you are making money. And the 12 months operating cash flow was 61.85 million, and the capital expenditures is now -16. So your expenditure is lower than what your cash flow is. So you are profitable over here. Free cash flow is 45 million, so they are looking good on that side. Are you in debt? They are in 57 million in debt. That's basically nothing, but the company only has 669,000 in cash. That's bad, so they might have to take on more debt if they want to maybe keep the lights on. I mean, they do have 2,900 customers, and if you only have that much in cash, you could look, they could easily dilute and generate more cash in the future. So anyone who buys this position at the moment might just easily go underwater. So you want to be careful. Let's actually quickly go over here to see how many shares are actually being offered to the open market compared to how many shares they have. Isn't that number somewhere up here? Usually not available. That's interesting. Okay, usually that says a number, that says no number at the moment. That's surprising. Fishy. I mean, they don't have any money on cash. Less than $500,000 basically $500,000 is what they have left on hand. That does not look too good. And the last 12 months revenue has been 976 million and earned 46.57 million dollars in profits. Where's the money going, bro? Where's the money going? Made a revenue of 976 million and you only kept 46 million dollars in profit. Where is that money going? Where is that money disappearing off to? That's surprising. Looks like they are growing. That's the only thing we can say. That's the only thing we can say. Is there EPS anywhere that we can read? I don't want to do the actual math. They don't actually just throw in EPS anywhere. I'm not doing math right now, chat. I'm too tired. GRDN. So this one looks pretty sketchy. I don't know about this one. I might look short for this one. This looks pretty sketchy. Wait. This website says they're only releasing 6.7 million shares, but this one says that they are releasing 8 million shares. I'll put both in my notes, that or 8 mil. Gotcha. The next one was BKV. This is the last one for the day. BKV, what does your stock do? Forward-thinking, growth-driven energy company focused on creating value for our stockholders through the organic development of our properties as well as accretive acquisitions. Our core business is to produce natural gas from our owned and operated upstream businesses, which we expect to achieve net zero scope 1 and scope 2 emissions by the end of 2025. We maintain a closed loop approach to our net zero emissions goal with our 4 business lines: natural gas production, natural gas gathering. So basically an energy company. Are you making money? Are you making any shmoney? $1.63 billion market cap, 15 million shares being offered, 81 million shares in the actual company at the moment. PE ratio of $4. They actually make money. That's the change. They make money, chat. Return on equity, return on capital, gross margin, operating margin 19, profit margin 23. Are you in debt? 768 million in debt. What was your revenue in the last 12 months? Yeah, you're chilling. I'm not worried about your debt. Oh, this company actually makes money. Oh my god, what? Hey, yo, what am I looking at right now? What happened? 625% growth from 2020 to 2021. Obviously, we don't know anything about 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. So, you know, that's crazy. 625% over there. That's insane. It looks like the company actually makes money. They generate energy. They're a legitimate company. This could be a very good long opportunity tomorrow. So watching this one for sure. This is priced in at $18 apparently, but we have a range of 19 to 21. I'm expecting the stock to open at like 26, 27, maybe at 31 even. Expecting to open it from 27 to 31, go up to 32, 33, and then kind of just stay around $30, $27 for the rest of the day. I have high expectations for BKV tomorrow. This one I cannot forget. I'm actually going to highlight this one in a special color because I do not want to miss this one tomorrow. This one has got bright prospects, right? Big future tomorrow for a trade opportunity. And I actually call myself Mr. IPO in my trade pod, so I cannot miss this one. If I miss this stock tomorrow, I'm going to be very upset. So good luck to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for me to go do some chores around the house, do the dishes and all the other fun stuff. But I will be back Monday to Thursday. So tomorrow for the final stream of this week, Thursday, 8 o'clock, come hang out with me. I'll show you how I traded the IPO. We'll go through all my thought process on the IPO and any other trades that I take tomorrow. We'll go through the stocks such as Costco, BlackBerry tomorrow, and any other movers that are interesting, and how we can wrap up the month, wrap up the week with a nice little bow, and send September off. September 2024 chapter close that chapter and move on. So yeah, lots of fun tomorrow planned at 8 o'clock Monday to Thursday, Sunday 6 p.m. Hit the links below. I would appreciate you guys to check out my affiliate sponsors if you're interested in using any of the softwares that I use. Check out TraderSync, Trade Ideas, Benzinga. Hit the like if you haven't already. That would mean the world to me. But really, the only thing I want you to do is have a great night. That's the only thing I want you to do. Screw the whole YouTube algorithm. Forget all the... Actually, I need to do one thing, which was I need to hit the insert ad button. So I'm gonna hit the insert ad button right now. Boom. While I do my spiel for the rest of you who don't get the ads. Basically, you know, time for us to call it a night. The only thing I want you to do is have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with me. TraderPrad is calling it time out. TraderPrad is calling a good night. So peace out. Catch you guys tomorrow. I'm exhausted. Adios. Peace.
TraderPrad, he's here. As a trader, trade like, get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.